Welcome to Coffee with Ken, a podcast devoted to the music of Oklahoma and those who create it. Your host, Ken Childers, is a lifelong music lover, former radio guy, and current newspaper editor. In each episode, we'll take a look, as well as a listen, to the singers, songwriters, and performers who have Oklahoma roots. So grab your mug, sit back, and enjoy this episode of Coffee with Ken.
Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in this evening. I say this evening, I don't know what time you're tuning in, but whatever time it is when you're tuning in, thanks for joining us on Coffee with Ken. I don't have a guest tonight, but my topic remains the same, and that's Oklahoma music. A couple of months ago, we talked about a musician from Norman, Oklahoma, who flies a little bit under the radar, or I should say flew under the radar a little bit. That was the great Jesse Ed Davis, mostly known for his incredible guitar work on Jackson Browne's Doctor My Eyes. That'll go down as one of the greatest guitar solos in rock history. And a lot of people did not know that Jesse was from Oklahoma. And we brought that to light thanks to my friend Doug Miller, who wrote a book about him recently. We talked about him a couple of months ago, and that episode's still up if you want to check it out. But tonight, let's talk about another guitar player from Oklahoma, Steve Gaines, who sadly passed away in, I believe that was 1977, in a terrible plane crash. But more about that in a minute. Steve Gaines was part of the super rock and roll, Southern rock and roll powerhouse Lynyrd Skynyrd. They were one of my favorite groups to listen to, still are today, but especially when I was growing up in my formative years and being a budding musician, I loved Lynyrd Skynyrd, and still to this day. And I had no idea that one of the guitarists that I loved in that group, although he wasn't a part of them very long, was from Miami, Oklahoma. Yeah, it's spelled Miami, but out here we call it Miami. And he had a sister. His sister was in Lynyrd Skynyrd too, Steve and Cassie Gaines. And Steve joined the group, I believe it was in 1977. And it was at the insistence of Cassie that he joined. Skynyrd had been through a couple of different lineups, and they were always a three-guitar band for the most part. And if you listen to them, you know that their songs dictated that they be a three-guitar band, especially when it came to playing live. And Cassie Gaines, who was in the Honkats, which was the background vocal group that supported Skynyrd, she said, "Hey, my little brother should be the guy that replaces Ed King." And had a couple of, I guess, informal gigs, and then he ended up auditioning, and he brought a new life to that band, in my estimation. There's a live album out there, their only live album, I believe. It's called One More for the Road. And Steve had just been a member of Lynyrd Skynyrd for a short time when they recorded that. And unfortunately, it's the last thing they recorded because they had a tragic plane crash, as most of you know, killed the lead singer of the group, Ronnie Van Zant, Cassie Gaines, and Steve Gaines, and several other people who were members of that entourage, and left other members of the band seriously injured. But go listen to that recording. Can't play any of it here on this podcast, as you know, for legal reasons, but it's out on YouTube, and if you Google it, wherever you listen to music, you could probably find it. Listen in particular to Call Me the Breeze, the live rendition of that. Steve's fills are just incredible. Then he does T for Texas, and he's playing slide guitar on that, and this guy is just eating it up. It still gives me chills when I listen to it. As far as studio recordings, he gave the group the chart stopper, I Know a Little. And if you go back and listen to that, it's a jump blues, jazzy kind of a thing. And it's really cool to listen to. Steve wrote that. In fact, he released a recording of that before he joined Skynyrd, and it's out there somewhere. I don't know if it's in bootleg form or in official form, but it's out there. So go give that stuff a listen. And another thing that he excelled on, Skynyrd covered a version of Merle Haggard's song, Honky Tonk Nighttime Man. And he lays down an incredible solo in the middle of that. And what I've read, he didn't even rehearse it. They were just rolling the tape and they said, okay, Steve, go for it. And he played the solo just like Jesse Ed Davis did on Doctor My Eyes. So go back and listen to those. And I promise you that, especially if you're a guitar player, you're going to love it. So Steve, born September 14th, 1949, and his life ended on October 20th, 1977, along with his sister Cassie. Such a sad day. Skynyrd crashed and all those people died. Such a sad day in music history. And Skynyrd is still out there touring. I don't know how I feel about that. There's not a single original member left in the band. Ronnie Van Zant's younger brother Johnny fronts the band. They do a good job, don't get me wrong. Ricky Medlock, who plays guitar, I guess is the closest thing to an original member as it comes. He played in the band as a drummer back in the 70s, I believe just for a short time, and he had a relationship with the band. But he wasn't a touring member until much later, until after the crash in their second incarnation. So I'm not bad-mouthing the guys. I mean, it's good music, but just like so many bands out there, there's nobody original left in many of them anymore. But that's not really the point of the podcast. I've loved Skynyrd all my life. I'll keep on loving Skynyrd. And of course, that great guitar opus, Freebird, is unmatched in rock and roll history. But the next time you listen to them, especially, I guess it was the Street Survivors album that Steve played on, and the live album that I'm talking about, go out and check that out. His guitar playing is unmatched and just full of fire. And I'm a Stratocaster nut, and he was playing a Stratocaster on Call Me the Breeze, and man, it's got a killer tone. I can't replicate it. And it was just all improvised stuff on Call Me the Breeze, and it is chill-inducing. So Steve Gaines, Cassie Gaines, you both are musical heroes from Oklahoma, and we salute you tonight on Coffee with Ken. And by the way, thanks to all of you who have subscribed to the channel. I've noticed last time we picked up a handful of new subscribers. Keep on subscribing. Tell your friends about it if you're a music lover. And give us those likes and subscribes. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook. And we've got more things coming down the pike. And I look forward to seeing you again soon. Good night.